Hey guys, Iceluslol here, and we're bringing you a Lucian game today. This is Prince Boost at the Gold 5 LO, and this is on NA. So bot lane, we've got Soraka Lucian versus Graves Sona, which is kind of an interesting lane matchup because you've got two sustain supports. I like that you're trading with Lucian here, with Graves, especially since you have a Soraka heal. Basically, Soraka has better heal than Sona pretty early on, especially early on. But I would say that the Sona Graves lane is better overall. Like, they have better poke, more consistent poke, and they actually have a pretty sick level 6, whereas Soraka does almost nothing to augment Lucian's, all-in, I guess. Unless she's really, really good at landing star calls, which it looks like she is. So, yeah, I mean, you're laying down a lot of really good harass, just like pretty much by yourself. And Soraka's actually getting in there now. That's good. She's doing a good job. Pretty much, like, it's a really a question of like who scales better, right? And I kind of I tend to say like Lucian scales better, just because like critting off your passive is pretty insane. But Graves does scale pretty well, and Graves actually has more range than you, so your abilities are long range, so are Graves' abilities, kind of. That was a really good ward, by the way, in the river. So yeah, late game, it's kind of a toss-up, I don't know. You both kind of have a lot of potential. So in lane, though, Graves is usually pretty damn good against Lucian, just straight up, like not considering the supports, because since Lucian has been kind of like reworked, Graves is very good against him just because he has more range than Lucian actually now. He's 525 versus Lucian is 550. And Graves' buckshot does more damage the closer you are to them. So Lucian basically inherently puts himself in situations where he takes more damage from buckshot. Additionally, Graves is really tanky just from his passive, so he can trade really well. And he has a reliable steroid. So there's a lot of things going for him in this matchup, but it looks like you're playing pretty well on Lucian. I mean, you're harassing super well. The Soraka just got poked out, but you're doing a lot of damage to Sona, and you forced out her flash. Really, really nice job. So Soraka definitely got caught there, but she kind of knew her limits, and you made the best of it, so nice job. This Graves is playing super passively. I also noticed that you're really good at landing Lucian Q. So that helps your lane out a lot if you can land Lucian Qs. Okay, that was great. You immediately followed up on this Graves' mispositioning. Okay, so you actually could have got that if you hadn't stopped moving. You basically stopped and just attacked him instead of attack moving. You would have got that 100% if you hadn't stopped moving. But still a great job. I mean, you forced them on the defensive. And I'd like to see you... There you go. Okay, that's great. I was going to say, since you have Soraka heal, like I'd like to see you push up a little bit there, and you did. You have like full health, and Graves has no health, and Sona has no mana. So you can pretty much do whatever you want here. You've got your trinket up, though. I'd like to see you ward the river again. Just a little something you can look out for. You have so much health, though. I mean, like it really matters. Okay, you did ward the river. Nice. That's very good. Yeah, you've landed almost every Lucian Q, so that's impressive. Ahri's roaming down, though. So maybe... I don't think her roam is really good right here. You could dive, maybe. Actually, what I would have done if I were you is I would have pushed this into tower when you saw Ahri roaming down. So, to give her at least an opportunity for a dive, I don't know if a dive is a good idea. Oh, she missed her charm. Oops. But yeah, that's one thing I think is a mistake, is you didn't push it into tower, so Ahri didn't really have the opportunity to dive. So next time your mid laner roams down, even though it's kind of a weird time to roam down. Okay, she's going to go anyway. Alright, so you're going to go on Graves, and he's dead. Easy. Nice job. Okay, so basically, like, as soon as you pushed it in a tower, she dove, which I think was correct. Just because they had so little health and no summoners. So basically, just next time, like, you did a good job there, but next time just do it faster so your mid laner can lose less time, and, like, she's losing CS to the tower because Vel'Koz pushed. And it just would have saved everyone some more time. And also, you could have killed them faster, and then that wave would have died to the tower. They would have lost more EXP and more gold. So that's an important distinction too. Your skill build is good. I think you took one of everything though. Just gonna rewind here real quick. Sorry, I'm just trying to identify what had. You had one of everything. I would have just you know, gone 2 in your Q, especially because you're so good at landing your Q. Like, sorry, I lost my spot. Oh no, I didn't. I went too far back. I would have taken 2 points in your Q in Piercing Light because you're so good at landing it. And it's actually more efficient, like once it's rank 2 anyway. So that's I think that would have helped you out there a lot actually, because like you landed almost every single one, if not every single one. But you would have done way more damage if you had 2 ranks in it. And I don't think having 1 level in Ardent Blaze really did anything for you. You know what I mean? So that's something I would do in the future. Especially if you're good at landing it. You clearly have no problem landing Piercing Light. So right now you've got a BF sword, which is fantastic. Graves has a pickaxe, so you have a pretty good advantage on him. He's got a pickaxe and a Doran's blade, so your BF sword's not that big of an advantage, but it's still an advantage. I mean, you're still up 10 AD basically, which is a lot. It's tough to like push towers with Lucian because you have 500 range, so I get that. The fact that you're just continually pushing here is pretty fine since you have Tri-Brush warded. Not really anything to be scared of. These guys are playing super passively too. So, okay, there's Udyr, but you see him. I mean, you had it warded the whole time, so it doesn't really matter. Your teammates want to fight though, so I'd like to see you push this into tower to create space and or diving opportunities again for them. Okay. So really good Sona ult into Graves ult. But you had a good ult too off of the minion wave and you forced Sona flash, so really good. Okay. Sandra ult, nice. Holy crap. Okay. So that was a good follow-up on your part. You got your Q off and you hit the right people. Yeah, see, like your flash was good, but you kind of came back in. No, I think you're dead, yeah. Yeah, you had the right idea of leaving first. I would have continued to leave, because now they get Dragon. Vel'Koz's ult is like super good when people are stacked up like that. So not really your fault. I would say just like after Sona died, you probably should have just backed off. But you know, it's okay. Could be worse. So you're even now because Graves kind of caught up with that, and they have dragon buffs, so you got to be a little bit careful. But you're still doing a lot of damage. See, like that's just an example of like why Graves is so good against Lucian, because he can just quick draw into your face and burst you. Or if you relentless pursuit into him, he can buckshot you. His buckshot is just incredibly strong against Lucian. But you have Soraka, so not that bad. But it's still scary. If when he gets his ult is back, so he gets a full combo on you, you're toast. Yeah, there's pretty much nothing you could have done there. I wouldn't have ulted there though, just because like you were in auto attack range. So not to say like anything you could have done there would have saved you from, or saved Soraka, but I wouldn't have ulted there. I would have just auto attacked and then ulted when they were running away if you really wanted to ult, or just ult to push the wave. Because when you ult and you're in range to auto attack, you're actually costing yourself damage, just like if you were to Caitlyn ult someone in auto attack range, because you're missing out on auto attacks when you're casting your ult, basically. You think of it that way. Okay, you have Infinity Edge though, 16-bit Infinity Edge, all things considered, that's really good. Okay. Again, you used your ult when you were basically in melee range, and you got it cancelled from Sona ult anyway. So right there, like when you were dancing back and forth, you could have been ulting there. right? Instead of before when you were using it instead of auto attacks and costing yourself damage, and it got canceled anyway from Sona ult. So, like, pretty much whenever Sona's ult is up, like, don't cast your ult because she's gonna cancel it, and that's a big loss to your damage. It's a big cooldown, just like lose your ult for no reason, pretty much. Okay, so we're going for Dragon. This could be interesting. And you got it. Okay, so yeah, positioning there, kind of awkward. You kind of had a good idea with your ult, but then you backed up into Graves and like almost died, so could have been worse. Also, right here, you gotta be really careful. Yeah, so you could have actually kept walking and dodged Vel'Koz's knock-up thing, and I think you had Relentless Pursuit up, so you could have 100% dodged with that. You probably would have got 1 or 2 kills there. Right there, you're just overextended with Udyr missing. It's okay. Wukong, oh, you saved your inhibitor. Nice. They were just getting our shit pushed in. Okay, Lissandra's 0-6 and 2. That's not your fault.
Red team's inhibitor has been
I get the sense that this game is pretty much over. I'm trying to defend Bop. You're missing 2 inhibitors. Not really anything you can do. Soraka ult. Oh. That laser.
double kill.
Yeah. Not much you could do there.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, it's a tough game. I mean, you didn't play like particularly badly or anything. The other lane's just lost, and that's something that you can take away from solo queue. Like, some games are just, you know, you're not gonna be able to win. It's just something you have to accept and move on. But we can talk about things that you can control. Let me go over your questions real quick. How can I harass the enemy without losing CS of my own? What do I do if my support does not take exhaust, but their support does? Should I just run away once I get exhausted? What is your... Okay, this is a general question. Your Soraka has exhaust. I thought you were harassing super well, and your CS was fine. I mean, you have the same CS as Graves, and you're really far behind as a team. I wouldn't worry about that. What I might consider, though, is, like I said, when you're level 3, get 2 points in Piercing Light instead of 1 in Ardent Blaze, because you were landing like every Q. You were money with your Q. But if you had taken 2 points in it, you could have probably forced them to back. I mean, you landed so many of them. So that's something to consider. Like, that's kind of a big deal. A lot of damage early and just makes more efficient use of your mana pool, which is also important. I assume you're talking about another game when you're saying exhaust, because according to the spectator, they both have exhaust. But if your support doesn't have exhaust and theirs does, should you run away when you get exhausted? Pretty much. I mean, if they have Ignite, it can work out. It just depends. Like, Ignite kind of can counter exhaust in some scenarios, but yeah, it really depends, I would say. And then what else we got? You asked about laning in general and team fights. I would say the big thing is your ult, right? Pretty much almost every time I saw you use your ultimate, you were not that great positioned, and you're also losing out on damage because you were ulting within auto attack range. So that's something you really have to consider. Actually, you lose DPS, and you also got your ultimate canceled a couple times. Another thing to consider. You definitely could have picked up a few more kills if you had been a little bit more judicious with your ult, and also that one-time bot lane when you stopped attack moving. So that was another kill you could have picked up for sure. So those are just all like little things that you can improve on. We all can improve on, but overall, pretty good job in lane as Lucian, and wish you luck. That's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. If you hit the subscribe button above my head that's going to pop up, you'll get an email every time a new video is published.